browser, but that toolbar was malicious, and it added it in the background. It changed where he did his searches. It did all kinds of things, but he had actively installed that because somebody told him it was great. Mm-hmm. But in terms of, oh, you've got a virus, doesn't happen.
But what does happen is you get fake messages claiming you have a virus and call this phone number to clean you out. So they're still going to try to trick you. But all those messages are lying. In fact, pretty much on any computer, those messages are lying.
Yeah, as we've told people for over the years, they sit there, well, I got the screen that says to do it. And we tell them, all right, go over, unplug it, count to 10, plug it back in and start it up. Gone.
And as Dave alluded to in the last call, I got one of those on this screen. I'm running a Chromebook right now, and on the air, I got a pop-up message when I went to a website to check something for somebody. I got a pop-up message that said, your Windows machine is infected. Call this number immediately. Well, A, I'm not running Windows. B, MacBooks don't get, or Chromebooks don't get viruses. And so I just, in this case, I closed the window because it was closable. Some you cannot close the window, so you just reboot and it's gone.
Yeah. And the virus writers are lazy because they didn't take the 10 extra seconds to check the user agent that your browser tells it. So they can put up the actual browser and the icon for the browser you're running in that fake message, but they didn't bother.
They don't bother, right. So, yes, there is the possibility that in the future someone will write a virus that works on a Chrome.
But they got to get past the locked kernel.
But there's a lot, and there is a contest held every year called Pwn to Own, and they give out hundreds of thousands of dollars in prizes and very high-end machines to anybody who can break into a machine. Every year, the Macs fall, the Windows machines fall, the Linux machines fall. Chromebooks have never fallen.
There have been problems found in Chrome OS that get fixed pretty quickly.
Right. Yeah.
But after you reboot the computer, they're gone. Because in essence, the Chromebooks will reload the OS every time it boots from a known clean source.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay. So let me ask you this. This is sort of another question I wanted to call you about a long time. So we have a PC, and then we weren't crazy about that, so we got a Mac thinking, oh, this is going to be better. And as I said, we're not really into computers very much. So we're sort of feeling kind of like, oh, God, we got these two things. We use them both, but I don't think we probably take care of them properly as far as virus protection and all that kind of thing. So what it sounds like is a Chromebook better than those as far as people who are lazy about taking care of all their viruses and we don't it's not part of our life,
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
And a little bit to that point, the incidence of new viruses are on the downtrend because making fake virus warnings is much, much easier.
And much more lucrative.
Yeah, if you can trick someone into paying for a service that doesn't exist, that's a lot easier than writing a program and trying to make to get it that way.
But yes, to answer your question directly, you have a lot less maintenance on a Chromebook. One thing about a Chromebook is they will upgrade in the background. So if you normally you have to say, oh, I've got an update me, and then you wait forever while it downloads and installs. And a Chromebook, what happens is every time you turn it on, it goes to look and see if there's an update. If there is, it downloads it in the background. When it's done, you get a little message that says, there's a new update, reboot your machine. And if you do, it takes, normally a Chromebook updates in about boots up in about 8 seconds. When you do an upgrade, it takes a little longer because it's doing all that stuff in the background, checking and blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't take that much longer. Right. Or you can completely ignore it. And then when you shut down your machine and put it away, fine. The next time you open it up, the first thing it's going to do is upgrade.
Yep.
So again, instead of taking 8 seconds, it takes 15 seconds. But then you're in with the brand new operating system. It's all good.
It'd be very similar to what an iPad or an Android tablet is like. It's much, much harder to get a virus on the tablet devices because they are built inherently harder to break into.
Right.
Well, I didn't know that either.
Well, the thing of it is, too, is most writers are going for quantity. And there are more PCs and more Macs out there for them to attack and grab information. And they're easy to crack. Whereas, like Nick was saying, the Chromebooks, that's a hard nut to crack, and nobody's been able to do it yet.
Now, we're not guaranteeing that it can't be done.
Yeah, never say never.
Never say never, but at this point, they are...
You always have to say that with computers.
Right. But as of this moment, as far as we know, because the last moment was a moment ago, and now it's a new moment, as far as we know, there are no viruses that can infect a Chromebook.
Well, great. That's wonderful information. I really appreciate you guys filling me in on that.
Now, as I said to Tom, one of the things that you can do is get yourself a Google address, a Gmail address.
Yep.
Log on to Google Drive, drive.google.com, and you can then test out the word processing and the spreadsheet because, like I said, basically Chrome OS is the Chrome browser. So everything you do, you're doing in the browser. So you can test it right at home on the machines you currently have. Now, obviously, on that 10-year-old Windows machine, it's going to be a lot slower.
Yeah, because I haven't written, all my documents, my spreadsheets, and even a couple presentations. I've switched over to Google, and it automatically saves it up there, and it doesn't matter whether I'm at home or at work. I can log into my Google account and get a document or anything else or photos, and, it's there.
Yep.
Yeah, that does sound great because we have 3 places we bounce around. So.
Yep.
All you need is an internet connection. You log into your Google account. You could do it off your phone to show photos.
Here's the and this is the other thing. If you bounce around through 3 places throughout the year, you know that there have been times you've left something important on the other machine.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen when it's all in the web.
And you also mentioned that you can take your Google Chromebook to like a cafe. The internet went out, but it was still working. So one of our places does not have internet. So that might also work. Is that correct?
Well, you can't do web browsing or anything. But in this particular case, I was writing a book. And what happened was it said, oh, I've lost the internet. Okay, I'll just save everything locally. And when the internet comes back, I'll upload it again. And it did all that in the background. So there's no magic. It's not going to let you browse or do any of that stuff when there's no internet.
Although there are Chromebooks, and like other laptops, that have cellular internet built in, so you can get onto the internet from cellular.
Yeah, you could tether it to your
pay
phone.
Or tether it to your phone, right.
Yeah.
But you pay extra for that cell service.
Right.
If you have an unlimited plan, like I say, you can tether it to your phone, and then it doesn't matter if they've got internet or not. You can sit there and go to that.
Right. It's going to be slower, obviously, than a fast internet connection.
Right,
but particularly if
still
what
there.
you're
Until we
doing
get
is
5G.
writing, until you get 5G,
And then 6G.
and then 7G.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you get the idea. You can do pretty much everything you would do on everything the average user would do. You can do on a Chromebook.
That's great. I didn't even know really about them. I've just heard the words over and over and never really knew what you just told me. So thank you very much. That's great information.
There you go.
That's what we're here for.
Have fun,
I
Gordon.
appreciate it. Well, thanks very much, you guys. Take care.
Thank you.
Have fun.
Thanks.
And there's a lot of things you wouldn't even think you could do on Chromebooks and tablets and things. Well, right now I'm doing a multi-camera video broadcast from my iPad.
Yeah, exactly. You can do those things. I have done video chatting on my Chromebook. This particular one doesn't have a great camera, Because when I bought it, I wasn't thinking about that, and
not many laptops do because the screens are so thin. They've taken Apple's idea. Let's make it as thin as we can. Well, then the screen isn't thick enough to have a good sensor.
But I'm seeing the other people very, very clearly, and they see me a little bit broken up because it's a cheap camera. Okay, like I said, that wasn't the main concern when I bought the thing.
You're not producing a high-quality movie here.
That's right. That's right. But it works. It works just like it does on my desktop, just like it does on my laptop. So it works just fine. That's the kind of thing that you can do. In fact, many school districts have given their students Chromebooks, and they're teaching distance learning, right, using video chat things. The Brady Bunch or Hollywood Squares stuff, doing it that way. 40, 50 kids and a thing. All right. Before we go back to the phones, let me remind people of two things. First. As you know, every Sunday night we do the Soundbites Lounge. That's at 9 o'clock. If you go to soundbites.org/lounge, you will be able to join us from 9 to 10, and we'll talk about whatever people want to talk about. Now, those of you who have bookmarked the address, that address is no longer any good. The folks at Mastermind Lounge upgraded the system, and so it's on a new server, so it's got a new address.
It's kind of a random string anyway.
It's a random string anyway, but if you bookmarked that string, it's no longer good. You'll get a 404 error. So now you have to go to soundbites.org/lounge to get the new thing. And also now, before we go back to the phones, let us remind everyone to take a few moments this weekend to send good vibes, say a prayer, think carefully about all the people who gave their lives for our freedom, because that is Memorial Day. And so remember all of them and what they have done for us. And now back to the phones. Our next caller is Paul from from Buffalo, New York. Hi, Paul. What's up? Paul, you there? Paul? Paul? Calling Paul. Calling Paul. Hello, Paul?
Yeah, we'll try again.
Paul's not there.
Hang on, Paul. We're trying again.
Paul's not here, man.
Working through the phone system that wasn't designed for live calls on the radio here.
Yeah, exactly.